Good morning, whatever time it is right now that you're watching this. Uh, Today is going to be a super easy lesson like yesterday because it's pretty much the same thing with one little tweak. Okay, maybe two little tweaks. We're going to answer some different questions, but it's nothing super crazy. You guys are already familiar with these kinds of questions. And instead of doing simple picture graphs like different colored squares, we are going to do a little bit more detailed pictures like games, painting, and reading. So, not just cubes, but also activities and stuff like that. So, for what we're going to do after this, I'm just going to let you know now, you will need some crayons or colored pencils or whatever you have lying around the house to be an artist with. Okay? So let's go right into this. So we have our tally chart right here, just like, I still have gray up. There we go, this would be better. There we go. So we have our tally chart up over here, telling us already that there was a vote on what your favorite rainy day activity is, and some friends picked games, other picked painting, some picked reading. So all we're going to do now is we are going to take these numbers. Let's count up each one. So 5, 6, 7. This is 7 because they're telling us the tally marks, but they don't have the numbers next to it this time. For painting, 3 kids voted for it, and for reading, that is 6. So now we just have to draw that many pictures for each activity. So for a board game, maybe I want to draw a little box within a box, and this kind of looks like a board game. Nothing special, nothing crazy. That's going to be my board game. It doesn't have to be the most perfect picture in the world. But then I have to figure out how many board games I'm going to draw. So we counted 7, so that means I'm going to draw 7 board games. So I'm just going to fast forward to having 7 board games. So there are my 7 board games. I just drew a box within a box and have some lines showing a border, and that's it. That's all my board game is. And next I have to draw the next activity, which is painting. And I'm just kind of sticking to the picture that they're showing me. So I'm going to make like a little paintbrush type thing. That is my paintbrush. Doesn't have to be perfect. And that's it. That's all my paintbrush is. So now I'm just going to do the same thing I did a second ago. And I'm going to fast forward to having how many paintbrushes? Just 3, because that's how many voted. So let's fast forward. And there we go. There are my 3 paintbrushes. See, it's nothing fancy, doesn't have to be perfect, but you can tell what it is, right? And last, we have reading. And so we're just going to draw like a book for reading. And for that, I'll use this color. Here we go, like a purple. Yeah, that works. So this is not going to be the prettiest picture. Watch, it's not going to be pretty. I'm going to try to draw a book. It's not going to be pretty. Eh, you know what? Let's make it even more simple. Let's just make a colored in rectangle. I think that sounds great. There we go, and this is going to be my book. Like I said, it doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be perfect. Just have to be able to tell everything apart. That's it. So now, instead of you watching me draw, I'm just going to fast forward to having how many books for my picture graph. Says it right there. How many? 6. So let's fast forward to having 6 books for my picture graph to show how many kids like reading. And there we go. Now I have my 6 books for my picture graph to show how many kids like reading. Now we can go ahead and answer these 3 questions right here. Okay, so now go back to a different color. It says which activity is the favorite. So for the favorite, which means which activity has the most votes. And I know it tells us in tally chart, but it's just a little bit easier to see it in our picture chart. So which one has the most votes? It's going to be games. This one right here. It has the most because it fills up the entire column of this chart. It has more votes than any of them. So for this, I'm going to rate games. All right. The next one says, how many more children chose reading than painting? So here's reading and painting. For reading, we have, well, remember there's two ways we can do this. We can do the, number sentence because it tells us the word then. We know that then means subtract. And we could write a number sentence like, since we're subtracting, we'll take the bigger number, which would be reading, that has 6. And it's going to subtract with painting, which just has 3 votes. And maybe you know that already and you think it's super easy. That's cool. Or we could use the making friends method. Well, that's what I call it. Making pairs, making friends. So these two are friends, these two are friends, these two are friends. How many do not have friends? 3 books. So we still get the same answer either way. How many more children? So we would say 3 children. And that's it for that one. And look, 6 minus 3 is still 3. Either way, you get the same answer. And now the next one, you guys have done this before. Maybe not with a graph, but you've done this before. Where they are kind of, I'm just going to explain what they want first. So it says, organize it from least favorite to most favorite. So same thing by saying least favorite and most favored is the same exact thing as saying from least to greatest. We've done least to greatest before. We did that weeks and weeks ago. So let's just go ahead and read this. It says, rate the rainy day activities in order from least favored to most favored, which is what we just talked about. So we start with least, which means it has the smallest amount of votes. So which activity has the smallest amount of votes? Is it reading, painting, or games? It's painting. See how it barely has any? It's not as tall as the other ones. It just has 3. So we would write paint. Okay. And what I like to do is I like to start with the least and then go straight to the most. And whatever's left is going to go right in the middle. So we did least, and painting is done. Donezo. But so we don't get mixed up, let me just erase that. Okay. So what is the most favored? Is it reading or games? Which one has the most votes? It's games, because it goes all the way up to the very tippy top of this column, and it has 1 more than reading. So the most is games. Okay, and you could have even looked back at number 3. It says which activity is the favorite? Well, we already had games written down, and maybe that helped you out. And the last one that we didn't use yet, which is in the middle here, because it's not the most, it's not the least, it's right in the middle, which is, because we used games already, we used paint. Last one is reading. Okay, so now you're going to need your math workbooks for what we're going to do next. And also get some crayons and colored pencils, because you're going to need them, because I want you guys to have some fun with this assignment that we're going to be doing later. You can be a little artist, have some coloring, have some fun, be creative with it. I want to see you guys be really creative with this assignment today. So let me get that paper up so you can see exactly what your paper should look like. That we will be working on in your math workbooks. At the top it says reteaching. and the number is 14-6 right underneath it. If you have not gotten your workbook yet, go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and get it. And also make sure you grab some colored pencils or something, some crayons, something colorful, something that's fun. And I'm actually going to skip this first part. Try to save up some time and just jump right into the fun stuff. All right, so for this question, it says, ask your friends to vote for apple juice or milk as their favorite drink. Make a tally chart and a picture graph. So the first thing that we would do is make a tally chart. For this, we are going to just pick a fun number. So it can't be too big though. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have a total of 6 squares going across it. We can fill in for each, but here is the only thing. You can only have a maximum of 6 for one of them if you wanted to, and the apple juice and the milk cannot have the same number. They can't. I am not allowing it. You are not allowed to have the same number for these two. One has to be bigger than the other, but it cannot be bigger than the number 6. So, for example, I could say that maybe juice was the favorite, and it got 6 votes. So I'll use my tally marks. It's 4 going across. The 5th one has to go from corner to corner, and then 6. Now, I cannot have 6 votes for milk. We're not allowing it because one has to be bigger than the other. But maybe for milk, there was 5 votes. And we'll do a 5 tally marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th has to go from corner to corner. So then we're going to draw how many apple juices and milks we need. So first, go ahead and draw the right amount of apple juices. How many do we need to put the right amount in this row? So go ahead and draw your apple juices. Remember, I told you guys to get some colored pencils or crayons. Have fun with this, all right? Now, I know you're not done yet, but I would like for you to hit the pause button because I don't want to have, like a 5-minute long pause to this video while you're working, but I also don't want you to feel rushed. So go ahead and hit the pause button on your laptop. You can just hit the space bar. If you have a iPhone or cell phone that you're using, just tap the screen. You'll see a pause symbol show up. You just tap it. And same thing with a tablet if you're using a tablet. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and draw the right amount of apple juice cartons. And you're probably thinking, how is he going to do this? Well, first I'm going to draw a box. And then I'm going to put a little apple inside. And that's going to be my apple juice. So now, so you don't have to watch me, we're going to fast forward so I have the right amount of apple juices. So here are my apple juice boxes for my picture graph. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 apple juice boxes. So I just made my box with, a little red apple. And if you're feeling super fancy, you can put a stem like right there, and I put a little green leaf on one of them if you're feeling extra fancy. Now look at the next one we have to do. We have to do the milk. So put in the correct amount of milk cartons to make the same number that we have up here in our tally mark chart. Now, I know you're not done yet, but I would really appreciate you hitting that pause button while you finish up your drawings of your milk cartons. Because again, we don't want to have a super long pause while we're waiting or while our friends are working, right? Some of us work faster than others, so we don't want to have a super long pause in the video for it. So go ahead and hit that pause button again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I would draw a milk carton. It's not going to be fancy. It's actually going to look kind of like a house a little bit. And right across, I could just put, hard to write this small, kind of write the word milk in it. And that's kind of it. That's going to be my milk carton drawing. Again, guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just have fun with this. So now let's fast forward to see how many milk carton drawings we need to match our tally chart. Okay, so now let's fast forward. Okay, so fast forwarded. Here are my milk carton drawings. I made sure that they matched the tally chart, because up here we had 5, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 milk cartons. And again, guys, mine looks kind of like a house, and instead of trying to write milk in all of them, I just put a letter M to stand for milk. All right, so don't worry about it being perfect. Don't go crazy about it. Now with this information, we can really easily answer these questions. It says, how many of your friends voted for apple juice? Well, let's look back at our tally chart or our picture chart, our picture graph, whichever one is easier for you to look at and say, you know what, I know how many there are. So go ahead and put down how many of your friends voted for apple juice. Should be able to do this super quick. All right, should have been plenty of time. How many friends? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 friends that voted for apple juice. And let's look at our next one. It says, how many more friends voted for apple juice than, it's a super important word, than milk? You know what this means, guys. You know what this means. We've been working with this. All right, so really quick, I'm just going to give you a couple seconds. Show me, using the information that we put up here, how many more friends voted for apple juice than milk? All right. I'm hoping that was plenty of time for you. If it wasn't, go ahead and hit that pause button if you need a couple more seconds. If not, we can just use the friend method, the famous friend method. See, these two are friends, these two are friends, these two are friends, these two, and these two. So how many are left without a friend to hold hands with? Just this one. Just that one apple juice has no friend to stand with. So how many more? Just one. That's it. Or of course, since we know the word than means subtract, we could just say, we'll take the two numbers, 6 minus 5, and of course we know 6 minus 5 is just 1. Either way you do it, you will get the correct answer, I promise. So now let's flip to the back side of this paper, and let's go over your assignment for today. As soon as you flip that paper over at the top, it should say the word practice and have the numbers 14-6 at the top. And let's look at what they have for us. Awesome. Look at this. They were so nice. They did the tally chart for us. We don't even have to do the tally chart. They did it for us, and they told us the total for each one. And these are favorite items to collect. We have shells, stamps, and coins. So let's see what they want us to do. So number 1 says, use the information in the tally chart to draw pictures to make a picture graph. We just did this. This is going to be super easy for you guys, which is why I had you go get those crayons and colored pencils, because let's have fun with this, all right? So, using those tools you have, pick whatever color you want to make these shells and draw me some shells. I'll give you an example of how you can draw them, if you would like a example. Because maybe you're thinking, I don't know how to draw a shell. I don't know how that works. That's okay. Try to get maybe a pink. And you can just kind of like draw like a little line. And then kind of like a goofy hand. And that's it. And then you can color it in if you want. And that's all you have to do for a shell. Draw me the correct amount of shells like what's in this tally chart. Okay? The numbers should match. Now for stamps. You're probably thinking, Mr. Montgomery, I don't know what you expect me to do for a stamp. Well, okay, let's give an example. You can just draw a rectangle and kind of like bumps all around it. And stamps always have goofy pictures in the middle. This one's a rainbow. If you can do a rainbow, go for it. Just some color arcs. Red, green. You could go yellow next and follow the visual color scheme, which is, oh, you'll learn this later, but you'll learn the acronym ROYBJIB. Red, orange, green, indigo, blue. So you can just have fun with those colors there if you wanted to do a rainbow like it shows in this stamp. You don't have to. You can make up your own picture to put in the middle too. Have fun with it. Like I said before, just have fun. And the last one is coins. What do you draw for a coin? Well, you could always go raid your mom's purse and look for a coin. You could draw any coin you want. You could get a brownish color and make pennies. Pennies might be fun to draw. And that would just be a brownish circle. And draw like a little face in the middle or a head. Little person right there. And that's it. There's your penny. Nothing crazy. And you, again, make sure that your picture graph matches the number that is in this tally chart. So for coins, you got to make sure you match that number. For the stamps, match that number. Now let's read the questions they want us to answer. So number 2 says, which item is the least favorite? The least. You guys know what least means. Okay, now let's move on. Write the items in order from most favored to, so I'm going to underline that, most favored to least favored. So most and least is the same thing as greatest to least. All right? And now let's jump down to the very bottom here. It says, how many more people chose stamps than coins? Again, we have that special word then. That means we have to do a special kind of number sentence. Okay? Or you can use the picture graph that you made to solve it. All right? And then it's going to be one of these answers down here. All right, and that's your assignment. When you're done, make sure you have mom or dad take a picture of it, send it to your teacher. If you have questions, go ahead, get a hold of your teacher and ask them if you're still a little confused about anything. Or, of course, you can always ask mom and dad, too, if they're right there. But if they're busy, you can always rewatch the video also. The options are endless. Okay, maybe not endless, but they're there. So, I hope you guys have fun doing this assignment. I hope you had fun with the video, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.